Yeah! What's going on my sports junkies, my four-lifers, the diehards, and the sad little people whose team ain't never won a damn thing? But hey, I can relate. Welcome to all my listeners, whether you're watching on YouTube or tuning in audio only. This is another episode of Break the Huddle podcast. I'm your humble host, Deuce. And we keep it real around here. No media spins, no sugarcoating, just straight up honest talk about what everyone in the stands is thinking. But don't worry, we start with sports and we end with sports. Either way, we break it all down here. So grab your jersey, settle in, and let's break the huddle. And before we kick things off, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe on YouTube, and follow Break the Huddle on all your favorite platforms. Whether you're watching or listening, don't miss out on any of the real talk we got coming your way. Alright, let's get into it. Alright, y'all. So we got to kick off the pod with what we just saw. Sunday night football matchup between the Cincinnati Bengals and the New York Giants. This game is all about defense. The Bengals get it done though, beating the Giants 17-7. And this game really pissed me off, but Joe Burrow kicked things off with a career-long 47-yard touchdown run on the opening drive. But let's be real, it wasn't the Burrow show after that. Like I said, it was all about defense. The Giants had their chances, especially late in the fourth quarter. They had a shot to tie it up. They had the crossing route to Darius Slayton that was broken up by DJ Turner. But then you're sitting there, you're like, well, okay, good play by DJ Turner. But if you really watch the play over, you can see that Daniel Jones, the pass was a little behind. It's always something with Daniel Jones, always something. And to make matters worse, the Giants got a little unlucky. When Chase Brown fumbled on the Bengals 30, it rolled out of bounds and nobody got it. Like, my heart was sinking. All I did was just culminate 4 quarters of bad vibes. We got to dive more deeper into the Giants in this game because this is what it's really about. I'm a Giants diehard, and it pains for me to sit down here explaining how shitty the team is. But at the end of the day, the Giants defense played well enough to win this game. They came into the NFL week leading the league in sacks at 22. And all they did was add to that tonight by getting home on Burrow 4 times. Sexy Dex is having a crazy season. Top 3 in sacks from the D tackle position. I want people to understand what type of talent, what type of man, what type of beast it takes for you to lead the league from the defensive tackle position in sacks to be up there. That's Aaron Donald company. And we have to recognize Dexter Lawrence as this top phenom beast causing havoc. And it feels like nobody else cares that we're wasting his campaign. But as always, it comes back to Daniel Jones, the hot and cold quarterback. He goes 22 for 41 for 205, but it's the mistakes that kill us. The mistakes just keep compiling. Early in the game, down in the red zone, he throws a terrible interception, moving off his read with Tyrone Tracy in the flats. And then he gets hit on a release, dumb turnover for dumb Daniel Jones. Like, I'm sick of watching this. We barely hit on any downfield throws. Can we hit Slayton a couple times? Can we just hit Slayton? Slayton be working hard as shit out there. He be running miles. Daniel Jones can't get him the ball. We need a quarterback that can make this easier. I don't doubt that we have the talent. We have some offensive talent. We need a better quarterback that can orchestrate this. With this defense and a better quarterback, easily a playoff team. Easily. We don't have the best offensive line, but we damn sure don't have the worst. Today just showed how much we missing Malik Nabers right now. We miss our game-changing wide receiver, and it's just obvious. Without Nabers and without Singletary also out for the second straight week, the offense just can't get going. Even though bright spot Tyrone Tracy Jr., he's a real bright spot. But I don't think that the Giants really made an emphasis on establishing the run the same way they made a point of emphasis on establishing the run last week. Even though Tracy had 17 carries for 50 yards, it didn't feel like they were trying to establish the run early on. Sadly, the Giants fall to 2-4, and we still can't get a win at home at MetLife. Like, this is absolutely frustrating. As a homer, loyal to the soil, gotta keep going. Just gotta keep going. All right, we got to jump right into it. Week 6 of the NFL. A lot of lopsided scores, a couple blowouts. That just made Sunday a tough watch. I can't lie to y'all. But if you're paying close attention, I would say the injuries were the real storyline. It felt like every game had something going down. And at one point, I even saw Jim Harbaugh go in the tent. What the fuck is Jim Harbaugh going in the tent for? But apparently he had some sort of illness. But even that just made the whole day freaky. Like players, coaches, like I could not tell what was going on. The whole day was freaky. No diddy. But if you was up early this morning for that early action across the pond, you definitely caught a gem because Caleb Williams put on a show in London. And he continues to shine for the Bears, tossing 4 touchdowns in a 35-16 beatdown of the Jaguars in London. He had a great game last week and an even better one today. Coincidence? I think not. I think not, people. But honestly, what I was watching today, it seemed like Caleb Williams had it under control. And that's what you want to see from rookie quarterbacks. You want to see them, you just want to see them progress, and you want to see the game start to slow down for them. And today, that's all I kept seeing. Cole Kmet was Caleb Williams' favorite target today. 5 catches, 70 yards, 5 targets. I really like how the Bears are committed to running the ball. DeAndre Swift, 17 carries, 91 yards, and a touchdown. I'm not just happy because Swift is on my fantasy either. But all I see is that this run game, the better they run the ball, the more easier that play action becomes. And then when you get into that play action, it looks like Caleb Williams likes to find Cole Kmet. Keenan Allen did his thing. He did a lot of his damage in the red zone. 5 catches, 41 yards, but he had 2 touchdowns. This game says a lot about the Bears more than what it says about what the Jags couldn't do. Trevor Lawrence, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. He had 234 on a day, but that offense just couldn't capitalize. And I'm starting to feel bad for the Jags. The Jags look sorry. And then I won't go ahead and just write off Trevor Lawrence. He's not particularly playing his best version of football, but I will say the guys around him aren't playing their best version of football either. I'm seeing a lot of drop balls. You got to help your quarterback. I seen Gabe Davis drop 2. I seen Gabe Davis drop 2 crucial ones today. A real head scratcher. He dropped 1 in the end zone. That was so egregious. Brian Thomas dropped 1 in the end zone. These are plays that you got to make for your quarterback. These are plays that create a certain level of confidence, that create rhythm, that create momentum. And a lot of the Jags players, including Trevor Lawrence, didn't capitalize on that today. And from the looks of it, it's looking like the Jaguars might end up with the #1 pick in the draft. So now, once you get the #1 pick in the draft, then who do you go and pick? Do they actually trust Trevor Lawrence? Is Trevor Lawrence the actual quarterback of the future? I know you paid him all the money because you had to, but is Trevor Lawrence actually the quarterback of the future? I don't know. I guess time will tell. But if you end up with top 3 pick in the draft and you got some of those quarterbacks sitting at the top, you never know. Who's to say Jags won't sell off and restart this whole fucking thing? But I'm just talking shit. We got to talk about my favorite game out of the 1 o'clock window. The Battle of the DMV, Ravens versus Commanders. This one was a back and forth showdown, but in the end, Lamar Jackson basically outdoed Jayden Daniels. Plain and simple. And Derrick Henry gonna do what Derrick Henry do. It's that easy. He helped the Ravens come out on top 30-23. Lamar Jackson was seriously on fire today. Lamar Jackson hit Zay Flowers for 9 catches, but it's like he decided to leave the rest of the playbook for later because he never went to him again after halftime. Then you had that man, Mark Andrews. He's had a rough start to the season, but you know, he's always going to be a true pro. And he bounced back and he caught his first touchdown pass of the season. We're going to call that redemption. You just can't talk about this game without mentioning Derrick Henry because at the end of the day, Derrick Henry ran in for 2 tutties. 24 carries, $132 on the ground. Derrick Henry is the Baltimore Ravens. Nobody wants to admit that, but I think Derrick Henry was the missing piece, and I can't wait to see what they look like in the postseason. I think Derrick Henry was that piece that can help Lamar Jackson get over the hump because, and I don't want to take anything away from JK, I don't want to take anything away from Gus Edwards, but they are not Derrick Henry. They're just not. And then when you mix in Zay Flowers, 9 catches, $132, it just sounds like a long night. You don't want to play them boys for 4 quarters. For the Commanders, it was a tough task without their bruiser, Brian Robinson Jr. suiting up. Not having a guy like that in your lineup really just limits what you can do in the red zone. Play calling gets tricky when you're missing that physical presence, you know what I'm saying? In the end, the Ravens just had more firepower, and Lamar came out on top. Listen, a tough gritty battle of the DMV. And I don't really think anybody actually thought that the Commanders were going to beat the Ravens. More so, pretty much the thought was that they were going to hang around, in which they did, 30-23. You never got a sense that Washington was going to take control of this game or they were going to come back and win it. Lamar was cool, easy, calm, collected. He wasn't going for none. And to be honest, I really like what I saw from the Ravens today. It'd be interesting to see how long they keep up this win streak, but I'm here for the ride. I like to watch good players ball. Hey, and that's a wrap for today's episode. We covered a wild and weird Week 6 in the NFL, along with covering my Giants' sad loss to the Bengals on Sunday night. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure you subscribe, like, comment, and follow us wherever you get your podcasts. Stay tuned for more breakdowns, reactions, fan-driven content. Until next time, this is Deuce signing off. I'm out of here.
Who's got my back? Who's got my back? I got your back. Who's got my back? I got your back. Who got that swerve? I got that swerve.